obtain their free and informed consent prior to the approval of any project affecting their lands or territories and other resources. This is clearly stated under Article 32 of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. In Australia's northwest, this right has recently been put at risk, with the state government threatening to compulsory acquire land if the traditional owners didn't reach an agreement on a suitable site for the development of an industrial hub. Traditional owners have recently given conditional approval to the proposed sites. However, such a coercive approach by the state government rides roughshod over the rights of Indigenous peoples and seriously contravenes the principles under the UN Declaration. It is imperative that traditional peoples have full recognition of their cultural rights on land, that they participate fully and effectively in decision-making and consultation processes, and have free, prior and informed consent for development projects. We recommend that this forum encourages all states to implement the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples and to promote and protect the rights of Indigenous peoples with regard to extractive industries. Madam Chair, climate change has caught the attention of the international community of forums such as this, are providing us with the opportunity to ensure Indigenous voices are heard and acknowledged. For Indigenous peoples across the globe, climate change raises unique challenges that will have a direct impact on our cultural and traditional lands. Indigenous peoples of Australia have strong connections to country, and caring for that country comes with a high cultural responsibility. As such, our communities are deeply concerned about degradation to the natural environment, whether it is from regional development, extractive industries or climate change. Like many small island states, Indigenous peoples of Australia face a loss of their land or territory due to submersion or inundation. Australia's Indigenous people can also expect more injuries, deaths, post-traumatic stress disorders and infectious disease outbreaks as a result of more frequent or intense extreme events, including storms, cyclones, floods, droughts and bushfires. Climate change will also have a significant impact on Australia's scarce water resources, which is compounded by the increasing development of traditional lands by extractive industries. The growing demand on our water supplies will have a severe impact on our traditions, culture and livelihoods, and we need to maintain focus on the importance of preserving cultural traditions associated with water for future generations. The Indigenous Peoples Global Summit on Climate Change, held recently in Alaska, resulted in the Anchorage Declaration, a document that calls for action on the current climate crisis. It is well known that Indigenous people are and will be most affected by climate change, yet we have contributed least to its impacts. It is time for this to change, and the most appropriate vehicle for change is the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Our rights, as set out in the Declaration, must be upheld in all decision-making and activities related to climate change. Indigenous peoples must be part of the debate, and we must take a greater role in the solutions. As the Anchorage Declaration states, when specific programs and projects affect our lands, territories, environment and natural resources, our right to free, prior and informed consent, including the right to say no, must be recognised and respected. Madam Chair, it is critical that states such as Australia adopt aggressive strategies to minimise the effects of climate change. Under the right to self-determination and the principle of free, prior and informed consent, it is essential that Indigenous peoples are centrally involved in decision-making to ensure the sustainable management of our land and the future of our children. We recommend that this forum adds its support to the Anchorage Declaration so that the strong Indigenous voice is heard at the 15th meeting of the parties to the Kyoto Protocol in Copenhagen in 2009. Thank you.
Thank you very much.